Welcome back to the First Trade. As protests against police brutality continue nationwide, President Trump has shifted his focus from the coronavirus outbreak to now calling for law and order and urging local leaders to crack down. Yahoo Finance senior columnist Rick Newman is here with us. Rick, it's been quite the week for the president. Where is the Mortar in chief? Do you expect that he will step up like past presidents have?
I don't think so. He actually seems kind of paralyzed by what's been happening. So there's been a lot of reporting from the White House about the idea of potentially addressing the nation, a primetime talk from the Oval Office. The White House has not announced that. I think any other president, you would have seen that already. I mean, this is the kind of thing presidents do, try to calm the nation when it's aflame, basically. And we've seen presidents give an address like that when we've had situations that were not quite as widespread and as violent as we've seen lately. Trump has not done that. That's not his style. He doesn't like teleprompter speeches like that. And he is not a very good consoler in chief. It's just not one of his core competencies, if you will. Trump has been tweeting a lot, of course, and he seems to be doing what he always tries to do, which is get his base all riled up, appeal to the people he knows are his core supporters, and he's not doing much for the rest of everybody else. That's just the playbook we've seen, and I guess he's probably going to continue that.
Where does it stack up, Rick, when you look at past presidents who've had to deal with similar race issues, political unrest? These are certainly not the first kinds of things like this that we've seen over the past decade and a half or so. And President Clinton had to deal with them, President Bush. How does President Trump's response compare to those responses?
Well, there is no response. I think the one that a lot of analysts have been talking about is not necessarily racial, but President Obama, after the massacre of children in Sandy Hook, Connecticut, he gave a very empathetic talk after that. He just, seemed exasperated by gun violence. And while, that didn't actually change anything, it gave a lot of people the sense that, the president was paying attention and he felt the same, outrage that other people have felt. Now, Trump has addressed the George Floyd killing, and he did talk about this over the weekend. It's just not getting very much attention. And other than that, all Trump has been doing is tweeting. Twitter is obviously an effective platform for him. He has 80 million followers. But remember, a lot of voters are not on Twitter, and they don't even know what Trump says on Twitter unless they see it reported elsewhere. So one of the things Trump is trying to do here is he's trying to link Sleepy Joe Biden, as he calls him, not to the protesters, but to the rioters. He's talking about Antifa, whatever Antifa is, this loose organization that considers themselves anti-fascists, but they really seem more like anarchists. So he's trying to link Democrats and Joe Biden to Antifa on Twitter. I think that's a stretch. I don't think anybody who's watching what's going on is really going to be thinking much about that. We all just want, the riots to stop. And I don't know that there's anything President Trump is going to do about that.
Rick, you mentioned former Vice President Joe Biden. What have you seen from him? I've seen him out there taking photos and videos. Do you get the sense that he is filling that void and playing consoler in chief?
I think he's trying to. I just don't think it's working yet. So he did visit a protest site in his home state of Delaware. So he didn't travel very far. He did not go to Minneapolis or some high visibility place like that. But their campaign published some photographs and some footage of Biden actually talking to protesters. So Biden at least is out on the street. That's hard. The president really can't do that. Given the security requirements, the president can't do that. But, Joe Biden has Secret Service protection as well. And he actually managed to get out there. And he's put out some statements and things like that. But Joe Biden is just running a low visibility campaign right now because he really can't travel around much and he can't do much in public. So I don't think people are noticing much of what Joe Biden is doing either.
All right, let's leave it there. Rick Newman, thanks so much.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.